Hello everybody, it's Paul Neeson with the Real Life Health Show, and today on the show I have some different fruits that I want to show that I haven't spoken about too much before. And the reason why I'm going to show these is because I want people to understand that most fruits, especially tropical fruits, will grow somewhere around the world in the summertime. Well, here we are approaching the winter time, and there are still a lot of fruits that are growing. Me living in South Florida, I actually like to grow the majority of my food in the winter time, because if I do try to leave South Florida, it would be when the weather is really hot, and that would be in the summertime. So what sense would it make for me to have trees that are fruiting in the summer when I'm possibly not here? But the fruits that fruit in the wintertime are ideal for me because it's the ideal time to be here in South Florida. Now, on the same hand, there are some fruits that have different seasons, like mangoes and avocados. You can plant an avocado, and there's one that blooms and fruits in the summertime, but there's another variety of avocado that fruits in the wintertime. The same thing with with mangoes and other fruits as well. But there are some fruits where the varieties only come in the wintertime around the world, wherever you are. And some of those fruits I'm going to talk about today because it's very interesting once you start learning about fruits. And that's, what's so important about this video and learning about particular fruits is to understand when you go to the store to buy a fruit or vegetable, I always say you want to eat something as close to nature as possible. And that doesn't mean like go to the park and eat a candy bar. That means like the sooner it's picked off the tree, the sooner time from it goes from the tree or the ground to your mouth till you'll eat it, the better it's going to be because the more fresh it's going to be. As soon as you pick it, you start losing enzymes and other nutrients. Now, if that fruit or vegetable is flown halfway around the world, even more so, or even around the country. So usually local, in-season produce will be the ideal to eat. Now, how do you know that? Well, some will have a sticker on them and they'll just say where it's from. Some say Mexico. Avocados might come from Mexico. Mangoes might come from Ecuador or somewhere. But what happens if you don't have a sticker or something? That's why videos like this are so important, and to learn and just understand where certain things grow and what seasons they're in so you get a better idea of how fresh they truly are. Now this, I don't know if you have seen this before, but this, folks, is a persimmon. And a persimmon is a winter fruit. It grows in cold climates. Many times there's frost on the ground and snow, and this will still grow. So this is a persimmon. This is a Fuyu persimmon. There are many different varieties, and they all have a slightly different time in when they might be ripe or not. But this is just the beginning of the season now, and we're here in November, and this will go all the way till January, possibly even February. It's a persimmon fruit, and it's delicious. This is the Fuyu type. Actually, this is the Hygieia type, and you got to eat this when it's soft. But that's what it is. And if you see this in the store, and you often will see it, it's just outrageous the price. But if you go to farmers markets in Southern California, where it grows, or it grows in northern climates, here in South Florida, we have some trees of these. And in each different part of the country, it might grow different, but it is still a winter type of fruit. Now, what's interesting is this is called a black sapote, also known as a chocolate pudding fruit. Now, there's many different varieties to the persimmon. One of the varieties is called a black persimmon, but it's still orange. This technically is not a black persimmon, but if you look at the top of those, they look very similar. And the amazing thing about this is both of these, when eaten unripe, they're almost inedible. They taste like you're chewing chalk. They're just not an edible, enjoyable, pleasurable experience. But when you wait till both of these are super ripe and you eat them, absolutely some of the most sweetest, greatest, best food you've ever tasted. And so the black sapote is also, they're on the same season as the persimmon. And now the black sapote you will not be able to find in many stores around the United States. Here in South Florida, we get it common. I have several trees, but I haven't seen it in any stores in the United States. Persimmon, on the other hand, you can see everywhere and anywhere all over the world. Black sapote is more of a tropical fruit. It's also known as a chocolate pudding fruit. It looks like chocolate pudding when it's ripe, but it does not taste like chocolate pudding. The reason I planted it is it's not as sweet as other fruits, and I like fruits that have a lot of seeds and not as much sugar, because it just shows me it's as close to the way it originally meant to be. Now, on the other hand, these persimmons and most super sweet fruits have been hybridized to some degree to have less seeds and be more sweet. So they're my favorite tasting, or one of my favorite best tasting, but not the ideal. The black sapote might not be as sweet, and I sure have a sweet tooth, but it's one of the ideal fruits if you're looking for something that's not that sweet and very filling. And I think both of these are. The black sapote I like when it's ripe to mix with orange juice. It makes a delicious dessert. The persimmon, you can literally stick a straw in here and drink it. That's how delicious it is. And sometimes I'll blend them up. Many times just eating the way it is. So they're just wonderful. So if you see them, get them. If you're in South Florida in the wintertime, that's when they're in season. But again, what I want to recommend to everyone is get a chart and you can go to the internet and easily find a chart. Go to any nursery that grows tropical fruit. And there's one nursery down here in South Florida called Excalibur Fruit Trees. And there's another good website or farmer's market called Robert Is Here Fruit Stand. That one's in Homestead, and Excalibur Fruit Trees in Boynton Beach, Florida. And basically on their website, I think there's another one in Miami called Pine Tree Nursery. But basically on their website, not only do they explain the different types of varieties to every fruit, but they also give you a chart of the seasons. Now, this might change as hybridization comes in and GMOs come in, and we don't know what is happening. But if you start seeing something like this growing in the summertime, you know man has messed with it. And so it's good to have an idea of what the chart looks like. And if you want to get more back to nature and eating as natural as possible, eat as close to nature as possible, and learn the different plants and the different fruits of when they're supposed to fruit or when they traditionally have fruited since they were ever discovered. And stick close to that when you are eating these things. So you try not to eat things out of season. And also you look to your local environment. Look for some locally grown foods. Instead of, if you're in a colder environment, root vegetables might be better than eating watermelon if it's snowing near you. So that's also a good tip. So I want you all to be as healthy as possible. And it really does start by eliminating the things that take you away from nature and getting close to nature as possible and eating things as fresh as possible. From a diet standpoint, it's what we're getting away from. People are eating things that have come from really far away. They don't know the ingredients. They don't know when those things grew, and most of the things they're eating haven't even grown. They just created in some laboratory or something. But when you start getting back to nature, you start feeling the way our Creator designed us to feel. And that is not sick, weak, and tired. And it's a great thing. And it tastes great too. So eating healthy doesn't have to taste bad. It can taste great. And thanks for checking us out. Put your comments or questions below the video. And if you have any other topics or any other fruits you'd like me to cover or find here in South Florida for you or anywhere, just type that below the video. Until then, everybody, thank you very much. And have a great day and a great raw life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.